ever feel lost? Like you're wandering in the wilderness just yearning for, I don't know, some kind of sign or a path?
A little direction in life.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of the heart of Exodus. One of the most powerful stories out there. We're diving deep into this book from the Torah to uncover how these people, yearning for freedom, found their way from slavery all the way to, well...
to the foot of Mount Sinai.
That's right.
And it's more than just a physical journey, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Exodus, it lays the foundation for their faith, their laws, their entire identity as a people.
Everything.
It's honestly incredible to think about how these stories, these ancient stories, still resonate so powerfully with us today.
They do. So you, our listener, want to grasp, like really grasp what Exodus is all about. We're here to break it down.
Yeah, we're going to...
Those epic events introduce you to the major players, the whole bit. And we'll talk about why it still matters even centuries later.
Exactly. It's timeless.
Ready to jump in?
Oh, yeah. Let's unpack this journey. From slavery to the foot of Mount Sinai. It really sets the stage for everything that follows.
Okay, so first, picture this. You're enslaved in Egypt.
You're longing for freedom.
Yeah, and then bam, plagues, a daring escape.
The Red Sea parting before your very eyes.
Oh, talk about an exit strategy. That's, I mean, what a way to make a statement.
Right. It's such a powerful image, isn't it? Breaking free from oppression like this beacon of hope. It's inspired countless movements throughout history.
Oh, absolutely. But liberation, that's just act one.
Right.
What comes next? They face the wilderness. I mean, imagine wandering for years. Yep. Not sure where you're going, facing challenge after challenge.
Uncertainty every day.
Oh, yeah. But even in that desolate landscape, they find sustenance, like the manna appearing, well, almost like magic.
That's like, what do you think? The wilderness becomes this powerful symbol in the story, right?
And for sure.
Think about a time when you felt lost, directionless. I mean, we've all been there.
Definitely.
And it's often in those moments, stripped of everything familiar.
Yeah.
We discover a new reliance on something, well, on something greater. And maybe even a deeper sense of faith. It's a crucible, tests us.
It's like the ultimate test of, I don't know, endurance.
And faith.
And faith, yeah. And then finally, after 40 years, they arrive.
Can you imagine 40 years
I know, right?
at the foot of Mount Sinai?
And the atmosphere, just you can feel the anticipation.
It's electric.
This is it. This is where they receive the 10 Commandments, the covenant that would, well, it changes everything.
That's a pivotal moment.
It is.
The giving of the law at Sinai. I mean, today we often think of the 10 Commandments as, I don't know, religious doctrine.
Right, right.
But at their heart, they represent really just a basic moral code.
Yeah.
Like a blueprint for a just society. I mean, even now, principles like, what, honoring your parents, respecting others' property.
Basic human decency.
Right. And valuing honesty, it just resonates.
Yeah.
Still, it's fascinating how these ancient words still find their way into our conversations about ethics and justice today.
It's undeniable, that influence. Okay, so they've tasted freedom, journeyed through, incredible hardship, and they've received divine law. We're talking life-altering experiences here.
Decades in the making.
Exactly. But as they stand there at the foot of the mountain, another revelation awaits, one that speaks to the very nature of their faith, their relationship with the divine.
The plot thickens.
Yeah.
Picture yourself out there.
Yeah.
In the vastness of the desert, right?
Yeah.
You're longing, like really longing for a place to connect with something bigger than yourself.
It's a human need, that yearning.
Absolutely, and that's where the tabernacle comes in.
Right. It's not just some tent, though.
Oh, no, not at all.
We're talking detailed, like super specific instructions for building a sacred space. This portable dwelling place for the divine.
A home away from home, you could say?
In a way, yeah. And the text, it lays out every single detail.
Oh, yeah, it gets very specific.
From the gold and the acacia wood to the fabrics, even the clothes the priests wear.
It's incredible.
The care and the reverence, it's like woven into every element.
And that portability, that always fascinated me.
What do you mean?
Well, the tabernacle wasn't meant to be, fixed in one place.
Right.
It was designed to move as they journeyed. It speaks to something really profound, don't you think?
Yeah, like what?
Well, it's like that divine presence. It's not limited, to a single location. It travels with them, a constant companion.
It's a powerful image, that idea that your faith can go with you anywhere.
Right. No matter where you are, where you're going.
Exactly. Okay, but speaking of journeys, there are always bumps along the way, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And the Israelites, well, they were no exception. Cue the golden calf incident.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Talk about a stark reminder that human nature, well, it has a way of derailing even the best of intentions, even amidst miracles.
It's true. And it's a story that's so relatable, isn't it? I mean, it's about the fragility of faith, that constant struggle to stay the course, even when doubt creeps in, when fear takes hold.
Especially then, maybe.
Imagine witnessing all these incredible acts of liberation. You receive divine law. And still, there's this pull, right, towards the familiar, the tangible.
Well, yeah, we've all been there. It's so human. So how do they even begin to navigate this crisis of faith?
Well, you see this really interesting shift in the text at this point.
Okay, what happens?
It becomes about establishing order, ritual.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we see the appointment of Aaron and his sons as priests, to act as intermediaries between the people and the divine.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's that whole section on ritual purity.
Oh, right. Yeah, like all the washing, the offerings.
Yeah, yeah. And the specific prohibitions. It's very detailed.
It's a lot. What do you make of all that?
Well, these rituals, they might seem, I don't know, a little intricate, maybe even strange at first glance, but they really reveal a deep understanding of how the Israelites approached their relationship with the divine.
How so?
It's about creating this separation between, the sacred and the everyday, preparing yourself to approach something holy, but to do it with reverence, with intention.
I can see that. It's like setting aside special time for reflection, or maybe even creating a peaceful space for meditation in your own home.
Exactly. It's about creating an atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
One that allows us to connect with something larger than ourselves.
To tap into something bigger.
Precisely. It's about intentionality, the attitude of the heart, more than just the outward actions themselves.
Right. It's about what it means.
And when you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture, you see this reflected across cultures and throughout history, really, wouldn't you say? This human desire to connect with the divine.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it's through ritual, prayer, meditation, even ethical behavior, it's this universal longing.
So we've seen the Israelites go from slaves in Egypt to a people bound by this covenant,
right,
with a shared history and a moral code, that portable sanctuary.
It's a whole transformation.
It really is. But as we dig deeper into Exodus, we see it's not just about rituals and these, divine encounters.
There's more to it.
Yeah, there's a big emphasis on building a society, but a just and compassionate one.
Yeah, absolutely. The text, it lays out all these laws concerning offerings, festivals.
Right.
Social justice, even. It's like a blueprint for, I don't know, a life lived in harmony. Not just with the divine, but with each other.
Yeah, and those laws, it's like they were given tools to actually build a society that reflected those values. Like, we see that emphasis on caring for the vulnerable, the poor, the widowed, orphans.
Absolutely. There's a real focus on compassion.
Even guidelines for treating workers fairly. So it's clear that, true faith, at least as it's shown in Exodus, it goes beyond just personal piety. It has to include social responsibility.
It's about action, right? Putting your faith into practice in the real world. And that's a concept that still resonates today. The idea that our beliefs, our faith, should compel us to fight for justice, to stand up for those who are marginalized, to create a society that's more equitable, more just.
Makes you think about how we take those ancient principles and translate them into action in our modern world, right?
Right, because these stories, they're not just ancient history. They hold up a mirror, They challenge us to be better.
To live up to those ideals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Exodus, it doesn't end with everyone settling comfortably in their new society. Instead, we see them at the edge of a new beginning.
There's a sense of anticipation there.
Oh, yeah, but also the weight of everything their ancestors went through to get them there.
Exactly. As Moses prepares to hand over leadership to Joshua, there's this bittersweet recognition that he won't be entering the promised land.
Oh, right.
It's this poignant reminder that progress often comes at a cost. It's built on the sacrifices of those who came before, and we have a responsibility to take that torch and carry it forward.
To keep moving forward.
Exactly.
And even though they're on the cusp of this new chapter, Exodus doesn't let them, or us for that matter, forget the past. The importance of remembrance, it's everywhere in this book.
It's central to their identity.
Remembering their journey, the struggles, the deliverance, those laws that bind them. Why do you think that is? Why is remembering the past so important?
Well, because memory, it's essential to identity. Remembering their past, the hardships, the miracles, it shapes who they are in the present. And I think it gives them strength for the journey ahead. It's a reminder that we carry within us the stories, the experiences of everyone and everything that came before. And those stories, they shape our own narratives, our choices.
It's a powerful legacy, isn't it? The echoes of their story, it continues to resonate with us today. This idea that no matter how difficult things get, there's always that capacity for resilience, for faith, for reaching for something bigger than ourselves.
I think that's what makes Exodus so enduring, so universal. It's a story that reminds us that even in the wilderness, even when we feel lost, we're never truly alone.
We can find strength in those who came before, in the stories we share, in the values that bind us. It's quite a journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Exodus. We'll see you next time as we explore more fascinating stories and insights from across history and spirituality.